Alpha Kappa Alpha, as you know, is a nonprofit community service organization. So we also look outside of ourselves to see what other groups are doing and individuals in our community. So every year we present a Service to Youth Award here at this program. And this year's Service to Youth Award recipient is no stranger to this community. Many of you probably know more about him than I do, but I'd just like to give you a little bit of information, and then you can Google or Bing him at carlray.com. But our Service to Youth Award does go to Mr. Carl Ray, who is an educator, an activist, a comedian, a graduate of Tuskegee Institute, with a BS degree in electrical engineering. He traveled to California to begin a career in the aerospace industry. However, he was sidetracked early in his career by a yearning to perform stand-up comedy. In 1968, Carl Ray founded a youth opportunity program in East Palo Alto, California. He began recruiting youth to attend historically black colleges and universities, the HBCUs, in 1970, then undertook sponsoring tours to the schools. And he continues to host this biannually, and to date, he has chaperoned more than 4,000 students on these HBCU tours. In 1988, Ray and his wife Brenda founded the Cortland Esteem School, which is a private school in San Jose, where for several years they educated young African-American children in grades 1 through 6. And in 1962, just prior to Tuskegee, he was questioned, and many of you may have heard this story, just still shatters my heart when I hear it, was questioned by a white in his small hometown of Butler, Choctaw County, Alabama. He was 18 years old then. And instead of saying, and this really happened, young people, back in the day, you consider yourselves very blessed that people came before you to make a way for you. Instead of saying, yes, sir, and no, sir, he said yes and no to a white man, where the customary responses were, yes, sir, or ma'am, and no, sir, or ma'am. And you know what that man did? He beat him up severely for being disrespectful. And if that wasn't enough, he went to Carl Ray's home and shot his daddy 8 times as he looked on helplessly. And Carl Ray was burdened with the guilt of causing his father's murder, and his life has never been the same. And he has relived this gripping story of witnessing his father's racially motivated murder in the form of a one-man acclaimed single-act play entitled The Power of Forgiveness. Carl Ray has performed the play more than 160 times at theaters, churches, colleges, museums, and other venues throughout the country. In 2004, his production company premiered the documentary, The Power of Forgiveness. The following month, the New York Times ran a feature story on the film and commented on its significance for race dialogue in this country. After having read the New York Times story, a public broadcasting station producer invited him to lend his story for its educational program called Facing History and Ourselves. KLCS created a set replicating the Alabama courtroom where the actual murder trial took place, filled it with jurors and spectators, then studio taped Ray's live performance for airing on its program, Why History Matters, and for the LA Unified School District curriculum. Mr. Carl Ray is an exceptional human being, has a heart and passion for young people, for education, and for racial justice for all people. And so it is my esteemed pleasure, on behalf of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority and the Ivy Rose Community Foundation, to present you with this year's Silver Anniversary Service to Youth Award. Mr. Carl Ray. God bless you.
Thank you, thank you. Is this it? Is this it? Oh, excuse me, y'all. There's a misunderstanding. I was looking for the envelope. They told me I was going to get $10,000. Am I in the right place?
Checks in the mail.
Checks in the mail. All right, thank you very much for this award. It's always nice when your community recognizes you. And I believe it or not, the 5,000 students that I've taken on the tour, the first 4 boys came from this church in 1987, and that was the beginning. I never intended to do that. It was a one-time trip, I thought. But 26 years later, I am still doing it. And I would like to thank you for this award. And thank you to AKAs, and appreciate it.